That Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was under tremendous pressure for his lack of leadership with respect to Obamacare repeal. Do you see McConnell doing anything different this time as well?
No, I reject the first suggestion. He got 49 Republicans to vote to repeal a entitlement. This has never happened in the history of the United States, ever, ever. Okay, we block granted the aid to families with dependent children, okay, back in the 90s, but that wasn't abolition, that was block granting. He got 49 votes. 3 people didn't vote. So if you want to be mad, there were 3 senators you could be angry at. The idea that you blame Mitch McConnell, who brought you 49 of 52 votes, and those were not easy votes for anybody. The left was very dishonest in how they portrayed the reform, abolition, repeal, and replace of Obamacare. It was work for everybody to cast those votes in the way to do that. So, look, 3 people didn't do what the Republican Party hoped they'd do. McCain promised he was going to lead the fight when he had a tough re-election campaign, and then he didn't keep that commitment. So you can get mad at McCain, you can be mad at Murkowski, you can be mad at Susan Collins, who I'm less mad at because of the nature of Maine. I'm somewhat understanding if you're in a very difficult. I'm from Massachusetts. We grade our Republican governor.
Yeah, you're a little different standard. And really quickly here, last question before we get out of here, and it has to do with the bipartisanship. There is an indication that like Manchin and Heidecamp could in fact vote for a tax bill. But you had Schumer get up there today and go on and on and on about how he wants to see bipartisan legislation crafted. And he did that in the context of having dropped out of a meeting with President Trump, calling it a show meeting. I mean, Schumer's playing politics at its highest level at the moment right now, but he's calling for bipartisanship, and he's not behaving in a bipartisan way. Any chance we're going to get some bipartisan crafted legislation that's acceptable, do you think?
No. More than 45 of the 45 of the 48 Democrat senators, 45 of them, signed a letter saying, "Oh, we'd love to do bipartisan tax reform with you, Mr. President, except it can't be a tax it can't be a tax cut, and it can't be for everybody because we want to tax certain people more rather than less." And it was this. Oh, and by the way, we'll only support it if you do it under regular order, which means you need 8 Democrat votes. Okay, well, there aren't 8 moderate Democrats. There aren't 2 moderate Democrats. The first guy out of the box to tell us that he hated this bill when it was put forward was Manchin of West Virginia. He's not a moderate. He stood by while they destroyed the coal industry. He didn't care. He's a loyal Democrat. And the Heidi Heitkamp up in North Dakota votes against the interests of North Dakota on a regular basis. She votes the interests of San Francisco. There aren't any. There are Democrats who are scared about re-election. Yeah. There are no moderate Democrats.
Well, maybe being frightened, Gordon, is motivation to turn somebody slightly moderate. As a matter of fact,
what it means is once we hit 50 votes or 51 votes, and it's going to pass, and it doesn't matter, then 1 or 2 Democrats might come over and vote.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we got to run. We're out of time. But Grover,
you're not getting a single Democrat vote you need.
And that's a no. Won't happen.
I would bet your kidneys on that.
Yeah. All right, Grover. Listen, we'll come back to you and let you take a lap, saying you were absolutely positively right later in the week, baby. Thank you so much, Grover. We got to run out of time. We'll be back with Andrea Kaye in just a moment. Keep it right here.